feels.
All right, folks, from Santa Fe Station for the first time in quite a few years, we're here for the title match. Today's JBT tournament. Should see a lot of X's here. Ian Hanuscin's been throwing a lot of them in the handicap division. He's looking to win his 4th career JBT title, but he's got to beat a guy who was red hot all day long in Brandon Duffy, looking to win title number 1. Brandon spared in his first frame. Ian leaves a 10 pin here in this, his first. Ian's got to win the game by 5 to tie and 6 to capture JBT title number 4. No thumb bowler, puts his thumb back in the ball for his spare shots. Cross lane with the plastic has the 10 pin. Over in the scratch division, 2 good storylines here. Dallas Leong was starting to wonder if he was ever going to win a JBT title. He accomplished that mission last month down in Laughlin, and here he is looking to try and win his 2nd consecutive title. Top seed here today, just needs to win that match to do so, but he is going to play a white-hot Derek Acuff, who has been unstoppable on this pair so far in the stepladder finals. Dallas, one of our younger scratch champions, and gets the light hit to carry here, as most hits of any variation have been doing all day long today. High scores on a friendly house pattern. Here is the smart lefty today. And he has done nothing but that on this pair. 236 to 194 over Brad Hansen to open up the finals. 79 with the front 9 to 238 over Zach Ettori. And then an almost as good 264 to 236 over Strapula Curtis Lindemann in the semifinals. First shot on webcam for Brandon Duffy. Comes in high and says, "I will take it" on that one as he breaks up the split. Brandon been bowling with us for a couple of years now. This is going to be his career high finish regardless of the result. Always good to see new faces make the show today, and did he ever. Plus 325 for 8. Cross lane, walks away from it confidently. Ian has been surviving by the skin of his teeth to win his 3 consecutive stepladder matches. He beat a KJ Martinez in the first round. KJ needed a 20 fill to tie and went strike 5-7 and missed the spare. Then Kayla Goad needed to double in the 10th to beat him in round 2. Kayla got the first one, but not the second one. And then Veronica Schleicher comes up with 266 with pins in the semifinal match, and it wasn't enough as Ian shoots 265 scratch to win 285 to 266. Just crazy numbers here. Meanwhile, he goes way Brooklyn and leaves the tricky little 3-9. That's a tough back pin. Then right at it. Ian won the Mojave Invitational in the handicap division a few years ago. Has a runner-up finish in another invitational, so he's one of those bowlers that seems to come up big in the majors. Derek, a 4-time JBT champion, with one of those titles being a scratch title. This is essentially his debut season in the scratch division. So, doing a good job on those.
At that point, does he still get running for Rookie of the Year stuff in a different division?
Rookie of the Year is sort of ambiguous, where we don't really differentiate between scratch and handicap. So it's really more geared to the bowler we haven't seen before, as opposed to the bowler who switched divisions. But yeah, nonetheless, an impressive debut for scratch. Scratch can beat you up the first 1 or 2 years before you really start to click in, and that really was no learning curve for Derek. He made an early title match back at Del Rosa early in the season, which was one of the first tournaments of the year, and had his ups and downs for sure, but don't we all? And using that house pattern to touch every board on the lane to cover the 10. On sport, you don't want to shoot your corner pins like that. On house, that's just fine. High scoring house pattern, took plus 48 today, I think, to make the scratch top half, so just shy of a 210 average and a big old plus 81 in handicap. Duffy runs that one out, and he likes it as he gets his first strike of the title match. You are going to know how Brandon Duffy feels about every single shot he throws. He's one of the more emotional ones. Ian, not a robot, but a little more, little less reaction on each shot, but not on the ball reaction. There's maximum rotation with that no thumb delivery, and that crushes 10 in the pit. It's weird that we've come so far in bowling that regular old no-thumber seems like old school compared to the two-handers that do their tricks these days. I wonder what kind of bowling balls Dallas Leong likes.
Track, probably.
That'll be my guess.
I don't know.
It's one of those very sharp and colorful track shirts here. Far less rotation than Derek and most other scratch division players. He gets by with accuracy. Oh, and gets by with a couple breaks too as he trips the 4 out very late to keep the match even. Derek, you're pretty prototypical lefty. Not a ton of rotation, but you don't need it on the left side. You want to go down the boards and play as far left as you can comfortably get. And just like that, strike, spare, strike, evens up the match. Brandon entered today at 172 and killed it. Had only one game under that 172, and that was the only game under 200 for that matter. Now that's how it all adds up to plus 325. If he wants to get that average higher, watch this little chicken wing thing that happens. That's something he's going to want to work on to take his game up to the next level. But he trips the 4 out as well and slaps it out, and he's off camera left and smiling. There you go. Just like every conventional thumb-in bowler bowls differently, every no-thumber bowls differently too. Ian, I don't really know how this ball, he's got to have a lot of forearm strength. I don't know how this ball stays on his palm. Look how straight up he is. Very little elbow bend, which I occasionally do some no-thumbing, and I don't know how you can do that with that little of an elbow bend. Very little knee bend too, for that matter. But stays on, just a massive cup with the wrist, and then fires it off there, and that's, can't rotate a ball any harder than that. However, high hit leaves a 310 here. Now we'll switch to the thumb in the ball now, and I'll use a plastic ball that hooks a heck of a lot less, try and slide it between the two. Not to be. I tell you what, 310s might as well be 710s. You have an equal chance of making them. Well, when you have walled up shots, you know, you got a ton of oil to the left, so you got to protect about sliding by. Then you got so much friction to the right that as soon as it touches it, you get too much of the 3. Then
you got to go straight at it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I don't know what you're supposed to do to him. Dallas qualified first today at plus 293 for his 8 games, plus 95 after 5, so he did most of his damage in the semis. Shooting, about 715 or so, looks like. Strike working for the lead. Not to be. Good shot, half 10.
He's playing a lot farther right than a lot of people are.
Right. The advantage of having less rotation is that he can play further right. That's theoretically a better entry angle. Derek's sort of the same situation on the left, but it's because there's less play on the left, so he's not had to have moved right as far as he would if it was the same rotation with a righty throwing it. Wow. And that's a kind of a bad break there as he got that ball further to the left. And they're so walled up on his side that that just hook stopped right at the pocket, but left a solid 8. Dallas, an excellent spare shooter, cross lane with plastic, no trouble with the 10. Derek is going to spare this 8, and we will be tied after 4 frames. I will not accept an open here from Derek.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Not letting me down there.
It's a fortune teller. You can see the future.
You never know. This guy has missed 5 pins on camera before. Not to bring that up right now. Thanks while we get a second to Joy Francomano and the crew here, and Frenchie and the whole crew here at Santa Fe for hosting us. First time in 5 or 6 years, I think we've been here.
The first red gutters I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
All right, good one. Good one.
Boy. Right after we call the 310 just as hard as the 710, Ian's opponent leaves the actual 710. So, well, if he can spare a 310, he should be able to make this. We've never yet had a 710 converted on camera. Is it now?
Make it.
Not to be. Good job getting the 1, though. Sometimes the younger kids get frustrated and throw away that pin account. You definitely don't want to do that on the double, so that was a good move by Duffy right there to maintain his composure and get that pin of count. Especially the way Ian's been bowling these matches. It seems like it's fated to come down to less than a mark difference here. Standing the deepest of all the 4 finalists here, and that's left everything. That didn't even touch the head pin, that was so left. That's a miss. Want to see who wins? Watch part 2.